I'll call the meeting to order. Ask everyone to please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and the moment of silence. I'll ask Mr. Ray Robbins to lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Amen.
First item is the approval of the agenda. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
I so move.
Have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next item is the election of the school board chair. Do we have a nomination?
I would like to nominate Rob Hines to be the chair for the coming year.
Have a nomination. Do we have a second?
Second.
Have a nomination and a second. Any further nominations? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'll abstain.
Congratulations. I'll give that to you.
All right, next we have organization of the board, and we have election of the vice chair. I'll make a motion, Vera Ely, be the vice chair. We have a second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'll abstain.
Okay. Next, do we have a motion to appoint Stacy Belcher to attend meetings of the school board in absence of the division superintendent?
Motion.
Do we have a second? Second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by stating aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Next, do we have a motion to appoint Christine Wells as clerk of the school board and Karen Combs as deputy clerk of the school board? I'll make the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next, do we have a motion to appoint Stacy Belcher to sign Virginia Department of Education documents in the absence of the division superintendent?
I so move.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next, do we have a motion to appoint Brian Dean as the agent and Stacy Belcher as the deputy agent to examine and approve claims and to authorize the payment?
Motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next, can we have a motion to appoint Stacy Belcher as the purchasing agent for the school board?
I so move.
Okay.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next, do we have a motion to appoint Vera Ely to serve on the A. Linwood Holden Governor School Board?
Motion.
I'll second it. Any discussion? All in favor signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next, we have a motion to appoint Rob Hines and Mike Kidwell to serve on the school board budget committee.
Motion.
We have a second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by stating aye.
Aye.
I'll abstain. Doesn't matter. Motion passes. Next, we have a motion to appoint Nancy Garrett as representative on the Regional 7 Virtual Academy Board.
I so move.
I'll second it. Do we have any discussion? All in favor signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Abstain.
Okay. Next, we have a motion to designate members of the school board to serve as a liaison on the following committees.
You should have that in your
And
packet.
there's a list. I'll make that motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next, we have a motion to establish meeting rules of order and parliamentary procedure, Robert's Rules of Order, 12th edition modified version for small boards.
I so move.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next, do we have a motion to establish that meetings of the Lee County School Board will be held the second Thursday of each month at 6:00 p.m. at the school board office?
Motion.
Do we have a second? Any discussion? All in favor signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Is there any public comment? No public comment. Do we have any board comments?
I would like to say a little something in memory of Sid Fannin. He was a graduate of Pennington High School in 1973. He was a pharmacist. He was a wonderful representative for the school system from Lee County. He did so much for the people, and Nancy and I had a hand in his final days of fighting gastric cancer, so rest in peace, my dear friend.
Thank you. Any other board comments? All right. Next, we'll move on to the consent agenda, which entails approval of minutes from the December 8th, 2022 regular meeting, approval of claims and expenditures, approval of Head Start Policy Council community representatives, approval of disposal of surplus property for School Board Policy DN, disposal of surplus items, approval of authorization for the division superintendent to fill vacancies existing or occurring between January 13th, 2023 through February 9, 2023, and approval of a field trip, SCTC DECA State Leadership Conference Competition in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and LHS Honor Band in Blacksburg, Virginia. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Reports of the board. Any reports of the board? If there are none, reports of the division superintendent.
Mr. Chairman, you can see on your enrollment, we came down 5 students from last month. We're now at 2779. That is still higher than the proposed budget number of 2766. So we're still in good shape. I have contacted the county administrator and told him if our number holds, we may have to go back and ask for them to reappropriate some more money, because with the budget bill on 2766, if we held that number, they would be responsible to give us some more funding.
Okay.
Kingsport Times News drawing cards, those this month were from Elydale, Jonesville Middle, and Pennington Middle. I would ask that you look at those if you get a chance, and if you see any of those students, congratulate those on being in the paper. Operations update, we've got a lot of stuff still going on. I think we're down to this roof here and maybe a little bit on the Fort Quillen building finishing, and we'll have all of our roofs updated that we have had going on. Down to just this building to get the heat up and running. They did finish this boardroom so we could have the meeting tonight, and they're still working across this building. So a lot of stuff still going on in operations. Transportation, Ms. Belcher, help me here. We got a couple of new buses. Was it two? Two of our last buses for the ESSER money. We're still waiting on the activity buses. Did they give you an updated time frame on that?
Said it could be the end of March, 1st of April.
So we'll have those. Probably won't get to use them this school year, but we'll get those and have those. So still, you know.
Well, those activity buses have the, like, TW for Thomas Walker and...
No, that's some wrapping that I think some of our local school divisions have done. We can look at doing that. There'll be a white plain bus,
Okay.
and then we'll get them what they call wrapped, or you can put a TW on one side, and you know, like for over here, you can put an L. So, and I think we could look at that and talk to the schools, because I think that does kind of,
Yes.
it looks good.
It looks good.
I
It
think
certainly
we did
does.
too.
But,
Gives a boost spirit.
So when we get those, we'll look at that. Otherwise, transportation, you know, running the buses every day. We are on a 2-hour delay tomorrow, so buses will be running late unless we get up in the morning when we run roads and find hazardous conditions and have to make a change of that. Next week is school principals appreciation week. We've got a great group of principals and assistant principals. If you see any of them, I'd ask that you know, show them your appreciation as well next week. And then you should have a copy of the SCTC Advisory Committee list in your packet. That's at the top is the board. At the bottom is additional people who have attended those meetings. And they asked me to remind you all that you all, in the bylaws of their advisory committee, you all can appoint somebody from your district to serve on that. So Mr. Long, I think Mr. Robbins would like for you all to appoint somebody from your district if you all know of somebody who would like to serve on that committee. So just want to give you that list and remind you of that option you all have to appoint someone. And then I just want to talk a minute about the budget. As you all know, we're getting into that. We'll start having our budget meetings. The governor has proposed his budget. We have the calculation tool for it that Ms. Belcher and I are looking at. Just kind of help with communication, because I know people hear things and sometimes you've got to look at the details to understand exactly how it works. Like, you know, everybody heard they got we're going to get 5%. Well, that was only 5% on SOQ positions, which is what the governor has proposed in his. That's not 5% across the board for everybody that we're getting money for. So just keep that in mind. I know I think that the governor had proposed reading specialists and math specialists. That is not at all schools. What he has in his budget is funding for reading and math specialists at the lowest performing schools, and none of ours meet that.
Yay.
And that's a good thing. But, you know, people hear that and think we're going to get money, and it doesn't always mean that. So just want to, you know, talk to that. If any of you all have any suggestions on the budget, please share those with Ms. Belcher and I as we start to really dive into those, so we can kind of have an idea of what you all want, and that way we can present that and discuss it. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Next, we move to unfinished business and action, if any, to approve the calendar for the 2023-2024 school year. This is the second review.
Last month, I gave you all the calendar that was voted on, that we sent out and had the most votes. We had a couple of comments since then. One school said that they would like to see the Christmas or holiday break start a week later and go all the way into January. That was from one school. But this is based on the calendar we have this current year, and at this time I would ask that you all approve that for the 2023-2024 school year.
Do we have a motion?
Also move.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
And I think you all, I probably should have told you this before you all voted on that, it does have the teacher workday in it. We did have over 70 teachers across the county that utilized that day. Several of them did tell me they appreciated that to help get their classroom ready for the upcoming year. Ms. Snodgrass, I think, probably one of those.
Absolutely, I cannot do without that day.
I think this shows what workers our teachers are and how they go above and beyond and want to be ready.
And I know,
Appreciate that.
as a former high school teacher, I didn't teach under block, but I'm sure you have to get a whole classroom ready, and several of you are teaching different subjects, so I think they have utilized that. So that's all I have on unfinished business.
Okay. Under discussion items, we have early retirement incentive plan discussion only. Mr. Dean?
Mr. Chairman, some of the school board had asked us to look at the possibility and kind of gauge interest in a ERIP plan. I asked Ms. Belcher to send out a email to LCPS all, that's all of our employees. It's well over 500 people who received that. I think we received 90, right at 90 responses. 75% of the people that responded said they were interested in ERIP. The majority of them said they would like to have a payout in addition to what's listed in policy. What's listed in policy, if someone retires, they can get up to $10,000 for sick days if they have those on hand, up to $5,000 for vacation days if they have that on hand. But they said they would like to have a payout more than that. And the majority of people said they would like to have health insurance for up to 10 years.
Me too.
I would like to have that too.
I will tell you that we are still under a number of early retirement plans that had been done in the past. Currently, we have over $100,000 of salary early retirement payments that will go into FY24 and FY25. We have over $300,000 worth of insurance obligation of early retirement programs that we are under currently.
That dates back how long?
At least 2016.
That's what I thought.
We have some people who are entitled to the insurance supplement to FY27. I know people want an early retirement plan. I'm not at this time going to recommend one because we still have 400,000 plus of obligations. I know every year they ask when we're going to do one. I don't think financially makes sense to do one until we get out from under the ones that we have currently.
And how many years did you say that's going to be?
It would go into FY '27 on the insurance side, FY '25 on the salary side.
I'm pretty sure when I first came on the board, that we owed somewhere between $1.5 million to $2 million on early retirement payments. And so we've been working through that, trying to get out from under that. So,
I understand, because programs were offered when other counties surrounding didn't offer anything, so.
And I'll also tell you that at the end of June 30th, 2018, we had over $3 million in our health insurance fund. At the end of June 30th, 2022, we were at $1.3 million in our health insurance fund. Some of these individuals are not paying any money in, and we're having to cover that school board portion of their insurance. So that's what's really hitting that insurance fund.
No, you're talking about the people that are retired?
Yes.
Okay.
So that, you know, that's an issue.
Yes.
So, but at this time, I'm not recommending an early retirement plan unless you all direct us to do so.
okay, just 1 second. It was 1.3 down from 3.
That's what it was at the end. It's a little over 3 million and went down to 1.348.
Okay. All right.
And I will add one thing that I probably should have done on the report to the division superintendent. We went under a procurement review in the cafeteria funds, and we got the letter from the Department of Ed that said we were approved and no corrective action was required. So I want to thank Mr. Welch and the cafeteria staff on that.
Okay. Next, I'll make a motion that we go into closed session to discuss personnel under Code of Virginia Section 2.2-3711A1, to discuss student discipline under Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A2, discussion of possible acquisition of a parcel of land, Code of Virginia Code Section 2.1-344A3. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We're now in closed session.